Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Harrell. I'm here with Bob Friedenthal. This is the Mycity Zoom networking event. We meet every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific. We encourage people to invite others, and it's a great chance to network, to find out more about other people's businesses who might be a good power partner for you
God
yourself,
bless you.
or if you have a particular need in business, it's a good place to ask. So we're going to take a minute per person to introduce themselves and tell us where you're located. If you're new here, in fact, everybody, please put your contact info into the chat, including, if you can, your LinkedIn link so that we can connect outside of this meeting group. And we encourage people to meet one-on-one. I had a fantastic meeting with Al Faber this week. That was really enjoyable and informative. So, Bob, I'm going to pass the baton to you and give you a minute to introduce yourself and say hello.
Well, it's so nice to see everybody. My name is Bob Friedenthal. I call myself a LinkedIn junkie. I've been doing it for a lot of years, and I work with people manage their LinkedIn accounts. I have a staff of people that help you grow your LinkedIn and message and do all that stuff. So, there's a reason why LinkedIn was purchased by Microsoft many years ago for $26 billion. I recently, the last few months, went back on and looked at their valuation, and it was up to 32, $33 billion. So it's got the highest income level and the most professionals of any website in the planet. So, you know, glad to have you here.
All right, thank you, Bob. I forgot to put the timer on, but you were very quick today, so thank you. All right, I'll say hello next. I'm Scott Harrell. My business is called Lifetree Prosperity. I'm based in Long Beach, California, and I work with business owners to help them improve their profits by lowering their costs of overhead through different platforms-based systems, including tax saving opportunities and benefits for employers and employees, including a system that can reduce the cost of payroll taxes and put more money in your employees' pockets, which helps to keep them around. In addition, I work in the insurance and financial services space, so I can help your company get all of your insurance needs, such as life, health, um, long-term care, group health, all those different types of plans. And I can make sure that you have guaranteed income in retirement. So look forward to meeting with you one-on-one if not yet done so. So thank you. I'm gonna pass the baton to Jay. And after Jay, we'll talk to Stephen. So good morning, Jay Waddell.
Yes, and just playing the commodity game and almonds, walnuts, pistachios, primarily almonds and walnuts. And it's interesting times with all the tariffs and things like that. And living in California and being in California agriculture, you've got multiple issues. So you have to stay on top of a lot of things. Um, Everything from weather, water, state government, and um, federal government and what's going on in the world and certain markets that are totally disrupted right now and shipping lanes that are totally disrupted. And there's effect in the American retail side of the business, which snack nuts and ingredients are huge now. And so you got to be quick on your feet and stay informed. And that's all I have. Thank you.
So who is a good connection for you, Jay? Who'd you like to meet and what
Well,
type of business?
Phil and I have been communicating, and
Awesome.
because there's interesting things going on the price of agricultural land. For example, I'm not to the point for a financial advisor per se. I've been doing this for 40 years. Um, I'm working on mental health all the time, every day. Did it this morning. I don't know where I'm at,
Wait,
but
are you selling are you selling the commodities or are you trading the commodities?
both. I broker and I will trade.
So
In
you're
other words,
trading,
I will take title as well.
you said you will take title.
Yes.
And you're doing this, are you doing this through the commodities exchange?
No, we are none of us, none of my commodities are regulated.
Okay, so
I've looked at the possibility of regulating almonds, but there's not enough trades on a daily basis to get into Chicago.
Hmm. Interesting.
Scott,
I'm surprised through
Yeah.
ADM there wouldn't be greater interest.
ADM.
Archer Daniel Midland.
Um, well, they're on some of the uh, exchanges.
I know they are.
Progressive sugar and glucose, or what's the other sweetener?
God, don't give me a chance to speak today because I'm taking it up now. I can see that. But I could
Uh,
see that I could see that
Why don't you
I could,
guys
yeah, we
meet
will.
and report back? I think that'd be
we
great.
should talk.
I look
Yeah.
forward to it.
I
That's my
put my
background.
information on before. Do you have it?
I don't know yet, but
I'll put it on
Yeah,
today.
if you don't mind, everybody put your info in since we have new people every week.
But
That
ADM
way
is
everybody's
involved, and I was heavily involved with M&M Mars for a long time, and they're one of the ones that sued them for um, predatory.
hmm.
Hmm.
But no, I
Love
could
our
see that.
agribusiness.
I could see it with that. I could see it also with Hershey being a buyer of your
All right,
product.
Moshe, we're gonna
Yes.
move on, okay?
I know, no, I'm sorry. As I
Thank
said,
you.
take away my time. I understand.
All right.
You guys are going nuts. All
I go
righty.
nuts every damn day. So,
Nice.
Well, what's not known. I had Series 7 securities license, so I understand this. I
Okay,
love all this stuff.
Moshe, I'm gonna mute you, dude.
let's see.
Okay, I want to welcome Stephen Rath. I think you're a first timer, unless you were here when I was not here, which is rare. So I'm going to welcome you, and after we talk to you, we're going to talk to Roy, and then Robert, and then Joe. So good morning, Stephen Rath. How are
good
you, sir?
morning. Thank you. I'm a real estate broker in the Sacramento region. I work Sacramento region's a four-county area, and I work predominantly to the east of Sacramento, going toward the foothills and the mountains, all the way up to Tahoe Valley.
Uh-huh.
I've been a broker for I've been in the business here locally for over 35 years, and a long string of letters after my name and all that, blah blah blah. But uh, So I own two Better Homes Realty. It's a kind of a regional uh, uh, company in Northern California, and I owned two of those until I got tired of babysitting agents. So I'm now solo. My wife and I do our own thing, and I do everything from predominantly residential. I do commercial also, a lot of land deals as well for developers, and over the last couple of years, I've gotten into expert witness work, which is interesting. So I'm just trying to, after this many years in the business, I'm trying to keep it interesting, and that makes it interesting. I do a lot of investor properties in the Sacramento region. Sacramento, for a long time, has been one of the top investment areas in the country. It's been in the top 10 for the last, I don't know, 15 years or so. So really good opportunities here as opposed to the rest of California, which is fairly unaffordable. So here you have
Mhm.
the city has grown from really a cow town when it first got here to a great city and kind of in between everywhere. So it's easy access to the Bay Area, to the mountains, to all the things that Northern California has to offer. And the prices are probably they've gone up considerably, but they're still half of the Bay Area and most of the more expensive areas of California. So, and the rents have been going through the roof too. So the rents are keeping pace with prices. So still good investment values. The market is changing throughout the country, but it's been a long time in the making. We're really probably 3, 4 years past when we should have adjusted. So there's going to be softness in the market throughout California and Sacramento. We're usually about 6 to 9 months behind the rest of California. So it's just starting to soften, and we're probably going to go through a 3 year run watching that happen. That's about it. I love
All
the
right.
business. Been doing it a long time and love every aspect of it.
Great to see you this
That's
morning. Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you.
good info. Stephen, if you don't know him, I'd like to introduce you to a guy who's a friend of mine. He's a sales coach. He's in Rockland, named Eric Lothholm. He's really well connected, and he'd be a great person to be having your database.
Awesome. That would
So
be
let's
great.
follow up, and I'll connect the two of you. He's
Okay.
really a great asset. So
Rockland
I'm
is
sure you know
about five
Rockland's a
miles from
nice
where I
area,
live.
right? Mhm. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. And I'm going to say good morning to Roy and then Robert. So hi, Roy.
Hey, Scott. America is in the midst of a $540 billion manufacturing renaissance. And these contracts are paying 300% more than the US manufacturers' traditional work is getting. But most US manufacturers don't have the certifications and the capabilities to land these things. So we can transform them into companies that are qualified to become suppliers. And this can be a lifetime multi-million-dollar contract or more. But now is the time to get in on this thing. So if you know any manufacturers that are interested in federal or state contracts, have them get in touch with me. We can figure out what's in their region that they want to go after and get them qualified. All they got to do is set up an appointment on learnfromroy.com.
Awesome.
And I gotta say, Roy, just to say, Roy's working with a great group of experts that can address that, how to take an existing precision machine shop manufacturer and elevate them to use the latest technology and systems in order to be competitive.
It's a great place to be right now. All right, Roy. Thank you. Thanks, Phil. So good morning to Robert Chun. And then after Robert, we're going to talk to Joe and then Wendy. So good morning, Robert.
Good morning. This is Robert Chun. I own a company called RSC Business Group, and we've been in business for 30 years. And what we do is we take complex ideas and turn them into doable steps and grow companies step by step. So we're partnered up with you so that you can actually achieve your goals and make your dreams come true. We are really a company that actually not only give you the book and know-how, but to work with you week to week, month to month to make that real. Robert Chun, RSC Business Group. Thank you.
Yeah, we did that in 30 seconds, Robert. So who would you like to meet? Who's a good
Uh,
connection for you?
I didn't know for sure, but I would love to talk to Jay Widow, Wendy Winterburn, and I don't know what I can do for Roy, but I'll have to find out. Those are three people so far. Let's talk to top of them.
Great.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Now, the people that keep coming to this group like to network, so that's a really good thing. So thank you for joining us. And then I'm going to introduce next a guy I've been working with, Joe Nicasio. He's just a super creative and well-planted guy. So good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Scott and Bob and everyone here. I'm Joe Nicasio. I'm a business consultant, sales and marketing consultant. Somebody says they want to control my camera. I don't know if I should approve that or not. Probably decline. Um, yeah, we think that, we come to a networking event like this and we think that, we're not allowed to sell, and we think that it's got to take, a year before somebody actually buys from us. And, sometimes that's actually a good policy. But, if you've been paying attention to me for a while and you're interested in my services and you don't want to get on a sales call, one of the things, one of the tools that you can put together and something I've put together is what's called it's called an offer sheet, where instead of me trying to sales pitch you, I can send you a PDF file where you can just read it. And if you like what you see, you say I'm in. If you don't like what you say, you can say I'm out. And putting together a great one-page offer sheet is a completely different way of selling where we can let go of all the old, manipulative sales stuff. And you can just say, you know what, I want to work with this person or I don't. An example, I just put it in the chat. If you type that tiny URL, some sales to sold out, that's my program. So if you're just curious about what it looks like to working with you without getting on a sales call, read that document, download it, check it out, because you don't have to do sleazy sales stuff to have an integrity business.
Oh, yeah, it's interesting how people's needs and approaches and their receptivity is different based on the medium that's introduced to them. So it's great to have more than one way to bring your message to people. So thank you for that, Joe.
So true.
And I want to say good morning to Wendy Winterburn. I think you're a first timer. It's great to have you here.
For the 4 o'clock one, yes, I've been on the night before UK time for about the second one was last night, so it's my first 4 p.m. UK time anyway.
Well, welcome.
Friday. Yes, so my name is Wendy Winterburn. I'm here in the UK. It's very hot at the moment. We're going through a bit of a heat wave, and I'm a certified online business manager. Online business manager, or OBM, is there to help overwhelmed business owner provide clarity through either sort of sorting out streamlining your systems, or sort of just being that person between you and the team, so you can concentrate on your other areas of your business. And I also help set up standard operating practice procedures, and even plan out a 90-day plan. Those could be one-off projects. So yes, so I'm just looking to probably help maybe towards coaches or musicians. There you go.
Very nice.
So is that a particular niche of clients that you're looking for, musicians, or?
Not really. I sort of felt, because obviously I do singing, it's sort of singing, and in
Nice.
a member of a choral society. It's felt that was definitely, I could see with them exactly what sort of issues, or understand a bit more with them, with it's like musical background thing I have as well. So
Awesome. I love choral music. All right, so in this group, who else is a musician? Raise your hand. Who plays an instrument? Look at all these hands go up. Look at that. Get a lot of people I hear.
Don't play,
All
but
right,
I probably
beautiful.
got 40,000 songs in my library.
Oh, there you go.
Well, aficionados are also musicians who are just don't have an axe yet. So thank you, Wendy. It's great to have you here. And my second question is, what do you consider hot in the UK?
Anything around 30 degrees Celsius is not something we're used to in the UK.
That's
I don't know what that's in
low.
Fahrenheit, I'm afraid.
They
I think
don't
it's
have
like,
air conditioning.
No, we
yeah,
don't.
yeah. Because we have places like
Shops and
Palm
banks,
Springs
yes.
here,
Well, I got
116 degrees
105 here
Fahrenheit.
today, or yesterday, so.
Yeah,
That's 90 degrees, 32 degrees Celsius. So, yeah.
yeah. It's hot, but it's not.
Manageable.
It's not Phoenix hot. Great to have you here anyway. So next up will be Bill Schweber, followed by Cheryl. Cheryl, you're back. Okay, good. And then Pavel, and then Betty. So good morning, Bill.
Good morning. It's pretty early over there, middle of the day here. In either case, let me try to make it short. I'm an IT data forensic specialist working on usually complex or high value litigation. People come back to me to do stuff that they can't do themselves, or to help them win their case or defend themselves in either case. I have a lot of expert witnesses, a lot of attorneys, a lot of accountants. So if you want to mix and match with them, or if you want to point some of them to me, because I do get a lot of job opportunities, and we're trying to put together, I'm running a legal networking group for accountants and attorneys. We're putting together webinars and lunch and learns to try to attract not associates, but actual clients for our members. So the group is changing its focus, working very hard on getting new business for our members. Okay, I got 4 seconds. My information is in the chat. Call me. Oh, I'm
Well
over by
done. No, you're fine. Thank you, Bill. And good morning, Cheryl.
Good morning. I can't see where my face is on the screen, but anyway, I teach
You're right
financial
there.
education. Am I? Okay, good. It's on the phone. My information is in the chat. I teach financial education and I have many, many great resources of trusted people that can help whoever I'm working with. So we do a discovery call and then I plug them into the perfect person for them or refer them to somebody who will refer them to the right person. Anyway, so I am here for you and thanks so much for letting me share.
Thank you, Cheryl. And I want to welcome our next guest. First time, I think, Pavel, is that you? Take it away.
Can't hear
Can't
you.
hear you.
Pavel.
And how about now?
Yep, can hear you now.
We can hear you now.
Excellent. So we had a pleasure to meet with Bob and Scott. I believe it was 3 or 4 weeks ago when I met the webinar. Great to be here. Really great format to network. I'm based in Vilnius, Lithuania, Europe, and here I'm running a company. It's a software engineering company. So I have 15 people in my team, and we specialize in data science, artificial intelligence, solution engineering, as well as we do electronics. So currently my big plan is to expand my operations in the United States and in some regions in Europe. We're at 3 years on the market, and we have already built credibility here in Lithuania, and we are strong enough to export our services. So my goal is to find business partners who could help me to expand my customer base in US region, and yeah, that would be probably the best win-win for us in this format. So thank you once again, and yeah, looking forward to connect with you.
All right. Great to have you here with us. And I think you should talk to Roy. I don't know if could be some synergy there.
Yeah.
He's definitely into data science.
Excellent.
All right. So next up, our good friend Betty Withrow, and then after Betty, we'll talk to Kathy Cuevas and then Al Faber. So hi, Betty.
Hi, Scott. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Betty Withrow. I'm called the Writer's Launchpad. What I do is support people who have a message that needs to get out to the world. And in my LinkedIn newsletter this week, I talk about jargon. And one of my clients has just put out a business process book. And one of his slides is the proper way to introduce an acronym. What you do is you spell out the entire thing that you're about to abbreviate, make sure everyone knows what it is, and then start using the abbreviation. Don't assume that people know what you're talking about. They may not. And then if they don't, you're going to have them tune out. I'm looking for people who have business expertise that they would like to share with the world, and I can support the book creation process every step of the way, from concept through execution and launching. I love being in this group. I have some very great interactions with many people here, and thank you everyone for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Betty. That was a great tip too. So, and you did it PDQ. Sorry.
Everyone knows that one, right? So,
Yeah, hopefully.
but to see,
All
that's the
right.
point is if you know that they know, go ahead and use the jargon.
Yeah.
But if you don't know that they
Mhm.
know, assume that they don't. That's all.
All right. It's time for me to be pretty darn quiet. So take it away, Kathy Cuevas. Good morning, Kathy.
Hi, good morning. I don't see her here now, but the other person that said she was a financial person with all kinds of connections, I'm similar to her. I did teach personal finance for about 13 years before I retired, and it's been a passion of mine. I've helped friends and family for probably closer to 20 years, either budgeting a debt plan after divorce or something else like that, or choosing better funds with their employer where they work. But I basically, before that, came from the school of hard knocks, and I've had so many falls, almost losing my house with single mom after first divorce and so forth, that I take my practical experience, even though I've got 8 years of college and a business degree, nothing in school taught me how to live the real world. You all can probably attest to that. So I take my personal experience and I help women overcome their fears, if they have fears, or I teach them how to expand what they have, their knowledge, as far as maybe teaching them how to invest, not telling them what to invest in. So I basically like to help women in their 40s and above have financial freedom, be free of fear, and just feel super confident and paint the picture of life they want and learn to achieve it. So I appreciate recommendations from women 40 and above, although I do help men and others.
Thank you, Kathy. Yes. Kathy is a whiz with finances. She really kind of blew me away when we had our meeting. So,
Yeah, I think altogether when I started investing in my own, I put maybe in my Roth IRA outside of my work thing, I put maybe over the years 70,000 when you're allowed to put 5,000 in a year. And then I think it went to 6 or 7, but through that whole time, it was probably close to $70,000. I'm just guessing without calculating it or less. And I've turned it into over 500,000. So I'm really good at what I do. I've had some big losses, but obviously the gains have overweighed the losses because nobody's perfect, not even Buffett.
yeah. Okay. And then we got another financial whiz who I had the pleasure of spending some time with this past week, Al Faber. Welcome, Al.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was great meeting you, Scott. And I also spent some time with Kathy. And yeah, she's great, and we have a lot of overlap, but do things slightly differently. So I'm also a financial advisor, licensed fiduciary. What's unique about me is that I don't sell any product. So I advise on investments and insurance, estate planning, et cetera, but strictly get paid for advice. So it removes that conflict of interest of someone trying to advise you and then sell you the thing they're trying to advise you on. I work virtually, so I travel quite a bit, and I'm based in LA, but work with folks across the country. So I'd be happy to connect with anyone that either has someone that needs some help with a second pair of eyes on their finances, or if you want to partner and talk about doing some things together, that would also be a potential opportunity. So thanks.
Al's fine-tuned his business so that he has the luxury of being able to travel freely, but also provide great service to his clients. And I kind of envy that
Go
position.
see
So,
daddy, go outside and go potty, go see daddy.
oh, I don't know who that was, but that was interesting. But thank you, Al. Great to have you with us. And I'm going to say good morning. I think first timer, Jacqueline Guardado.
Good morning.
Hi.
Yes. How are you?
Please
Okay.
say hello. Introduce yourself, Jacqueline.
My name is Jacqueline, and I'm with First Choice Business Brokers here in Los Angeles. We're the top business brokerage in our firm for about 10 years. The firm has around 30 years. We have about 90 offices, and we work with clients that are trying to exit their business confidentially. So, we've in the last 3 years, I've done $20 million in sales, and I also do commercial sales within that space as well. So if anyone's interested, or if they know anyone, I'd be happy to help them.
That's great. So, and where are you located, Jacqueline?
From Los Angeles, so on Olympic
Awesome.
Boulevard and Bundy Drive. We're right there, but
Yeah.
I'm everywhere. So I work even in Long Beach. I have some clients in Long Beach, so we'll go anywhere.
Yeah, that's where I'm located. So.
Oh,
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
And I assume you put your contact info in the chat. I can't really see the chat while I'm running my
Yeah.
timer. So, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm the third one. Yes.
Great. All right. And next, we're going to talk to Eileen and then David and then Phil. So, good morning, Eileen.
Good morning. Kathy, just a note. One of the things that I'm seeing is businesses, small businesses that are looking for help with their business finances. And of course, if they can get, the financial ones, the personal ones, they can, as they grow their business. But in the trades, I'm seeing like a lot of trades starting up, and they come out of the gate pretty fast. But to get their finances, just a thought, as you're dealing with clients. So I teach personal finance. Most of my time is spent with I'd say probably couples in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, but probably mostly in their 30s and 40s. They're sort of in that sandwich generation. They got the kids, they got the student loans, they got the credit cards, they got the loans, they got the kids and sports that cost a fortune or daycare. So that's where I spend a lot of time, and I spend a lot of time helping them step by step put their budget together. Because people tend to find that overwhelming and they're not sure how to do it. So, but yeah, if you know anybody, would love to talk to them.
All right. Thanks, Eileen. You have some nice systems that work very well. And I want to say good morning. I think you might have been with us at least one other time. David DaCosta. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Thank you, Scott. Yes, I was on about a month ago, and I think that was the meeting where we all had a few problems with the Zoom. So it was an on and off again meeting.
Oh, yeah, that was Bob's fault.
Oh, okay. All right, Bob, I'll talk to you later. But no, good to see you all. And I live in a town called San Marcos, California, which is about 40 minutes, 45 minutes north of San Diego. And San Diego, if you don't know, they call it America's finest city. So I'm blessed. The real estate here, which is what I do, is not so affordable. It's probably one of the top 5 most expensive cities in the country right now. But that's what I do. Sell and help people invest and buy local real estate. My time in the business has been since 2001, licensed since then, though I spent the last 14, 15 years as very active. What makes me different in real estate? There's a ton of real estate people out there. What can I do differently other than I'm David DaCosta? So my broker is called Harcourts International. We're out of Australia, New Zealand, and it's a privately held corporation, about 150 years going strong. And what we bring to the table is something called a luxury auction process, which works in all kinds of markets. So obviously I do traditional real estate, but I also use this approach very, very successfully. And it accounts for about 40% of my business. And it really and truly is a game changer, especially in a market as we're experiencing now, which is somewhat sluggish. What it's designed to do is to get your property highlighted and a lot of more activity and offers because of the word auction, believe it or not, because it arouses that curiosity. And it's designed to get you the highest price in a relatively short period of time. At the very worst, it's going to identify to the seller what their true market value is, because they will have seen several offers, and a lot of sellers right now, they still want to hold on to a very high price that was very attainable 2, 3, 4 years ago. But now, property does not sell quickly unless it's really priced right. So that's a bit about what I do. I'm a certified senior specialist, so I work a lot in the senior market, helping seniors transition, into that next adventure, whether it be in a downsizing type format of a home, or maybe a retirement community, or maybe out of the country. So I have the local contacts, work a lot with the community, active member of Kiwanis, Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the board of that as well. And I'm happy to help and happy to be more active in this group. So thank you for the time. My
All right,
information is in the
awesome.
chat.
Thank you, David. You know, my parents lived in San Marcos for years. Then they ended up in Escondido, and now they're passed away. But so I
I
know North
just
County
I'm closing
really
on a
well.
place in Escondido today, as a matter of fact. And
Yeah.
I live in a community called Lake San Marcos, which is
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I know it well.
Yep.
All right, we'll have to get together and talk. So thank you for joining us. Okay, next up, Phil Wolfstein, and then after Phil, we'll talk to Halisi Tambuzi. So good morning, Phil.
Good morning. Good morning. Such a great, diverse group. Phil Wolfstein, certified business broker with Zoom Business Brokers. And what I do is I help business owners find qualified buyers for their business. I want to take a minute here, just kind of this very unusual, and it may be a sign of things to come. I got a bunch of topics I wanted to cover, but in this minute, just closed a deal yesterday. A owner of a business, manufacturing business, called me up because he saw another listing I had. That led to a broker opinion of value, which I performed for him, made an agreement, came up with a valuation, had a meeting of the minds, listed the business, marketed the business, vetted the buyers, got that engaged a CPA on the part of the buyer, brought in a transactional attorney to represent. And they ended up handling and dealing with both parties. Had a inventory issue. The original inventory was 150, turned out to be 415,000. That needed to be resolved. Took it to escrow, got it closed within 6 or 7 months. I never once left my office on this deal. I didn't go to the factory. I never met the sellers directly, which is two brothers. Never met the buyer and his wife directly. Had a wonderful experience. Got it closed, and I got a 5-star Google review from the buyer and the seller on the deal. I think it's instructive of what we're looking at, folks, here going forward. That blows my mind, right? By Zoom, lots of meetings and discussions, great relationship, and they're saying looking forward to the next deal, all virtual. First time that's ever happened to me. Anyway, something to think about as we go forward in the future. We're all changing. You know, you got to adapt to technology. You need to be comfortable operating virtually because that's where it's going.
That's awesome. So
Dave.
Phil, maybe next year you'll have your virtual AI self cover the deal, so you can just
You
go
may
on
be looking at that
vacation.
right now, Scott. You just don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's great.
That's good.
All right. Always informative, Phil. Thank you so much. All righty. I think he's ready. Halisi Tembuzi, how are you? There you look at that. It's like a sci-fi adventure right now. Welcome.
How's everybody doing today? I am Halisi Tambuzi. I am an HR consultant. However, I do my HR consulting slightly differently. Uh, I help employers understand the data behind their HR functions. And so we ultimately, I've customized handbooks for about 9 years, helped employers resolve their HR issues. And what I found was employers wanted to, sometimes when they wanted to do terminations, they didn't take the prerequisite steps, and so they were at risk of finding themselves in discrimination, harassment claims, potential harassment claims. And so what I started to do was understand that employers need to understand what's going on in their business with their HR functions. And so I help them uncover those pieces. So when I'm looking at their HR functions, looking at document compliance, their legal risk exposure, operational efficiency, and their cultural and managerial competence. Thank you. I'll put my contact information in the chat.
Awesome. All right. Halisi, we
I,
really need to get together. So I'm gonna, I guess, work my Calendly and get a message to you. So get something scheduled. Okay. Thanks for
I did a
joining us.
one-on-one with Alisi, and I think you and Alisi and Scott should do a one-on-one together. I think you serve similar crowds.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Welcome. Sam is here. Haven't seen you since before Memorial Day, so
It's been a couple crazy weeks, Scott, and did some traveling. Went and seen Papa Elf, and he's doing awesome at 93 years old, still full of life, full of energy. Nice to see you, Bob. Papa Elf is, still driving, still cooking his own meals at 93. So, hopefully I can follow in that footsteps. Folks, you're own creator of your demise, meaning keep positive, keep living life and loving life because you never know where it's going to bring you. I'm Santa Papa John. I create happy, positive videos for everybody, for businesses and families. One of my big ones is I do a custom created story where I say your children's name in the story that I'm reading to, but I've also created a second website honoring our wonderful veterans, the Warriors Beacon of Hope, where I'm compiling a list of services, scholarships, and meetings. It's going to be a wonderful portal for information and that veterans need. Thanks, Scott. Back to you.
Thanks, Santa. Always great to have you with us. Really warms my heart. Really does. Okay, so Hale, I want to let everybody know that you host a networking group that meets on Tuesdays at noon. It's a big, lively group. Unfortunately for me, it's a time where I can hardly ever make that time because I have other commitments. But I just wanted to acknowledge you. You're doing a great job with that group. So welcome. Nice to have you here and take it away.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm grateful for having me here and sharing that. Okay, I'm Hale, pronounced like hallelujah. Well, what does that mean to you? To me, it means energy, living your life in full potential. Most of us are actually not living. We're just running, right, to get things done. And our body speaks to us. Are you listening? I know I didn't listen, and I kept going. I feel great. I'm fine. I don't need this. I lived a holistic lifestyle. However, I did crash in 2011, bedridden, that I even had to be carried to the restroom. Limited time here, 3 months I was out of bed, and that's what I do for you guys to live your life. I'll backtrack. Yes, 3 months out of bed. I'll be 56 next month, and I've never been on any meds. So what I do for people is to get your health, your well-being to the next level. So I would love to speak with you. Time got me today. I would love to speak with you, and I'll put my information in the chat. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, we all know health is everything. So we got a group here of people I think are all committed to doing better. So thank you for joining us. Moshe, you're next up. So good to have you back. Take it away.
Hi, good morning to everybody. So for Eileen, almost good afternoon to you. Good morning, so I like to say at this point. My name is Moshe Math. I am a partner in a company called Neurotrain Sciences. So our systems are doing something called brainwave entrainment. And brainwave entrainment is when your computer, I'll use a copy machine. When the big copy machines break down. Tell you what the problem is, you solve it, and then it still doesn't work. On those days, I prayed to God I was wearing a good pair of shoes, so I felt better after I kicked the machine. But what I also did was turn the machine off and on again, hope reboot, and forgot I had a problem. That's what we're doing with the brain. So that's in a nutshell what we do. An example of what I can say for us is I was at a function, I've got 15 seconds left, in Framingham, Massachusetts. It's not far from Eileen. And at that function, someone asked me, what does your system do? And I said to her, you see that glass of wine in your hand? And she said, yes. I said, our system does what that does without the calories and the after effects.
And Framingham is also the home of Bose electronics and speakers. I remember driving by there when I was last in Massachusetts, like decades ago. It's an interesting area.
You got the
Cool
TJ
stuff,
Maxx
Moshe.
too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
They're based
headquarters.
there. Well, I care a lot more about Bose than TJ
Yeah.
Maxx.
My daughter would disagree with you.
Okay, well. All righty, and then we love when he shows up. So it's time to hear from Burke Franklin.
Well, thanks a lot. It's up late last night using ChatGPT to rewrite some stuff. It gets kind of consuming, you know. Anyway, Burke Franklin Business Power Tools. I'm up in Santa Barbara, California. It's a platform, it's a complete system of customizable templates, financial models, and strategic documents that empowers growth-minded entrepreneurs like you guys to build and systematize fundable, scalable, and sellable businesses better, faster, and smarter. So take a look at businesspowertools.com or call me. I'll walk you through it. You kind of got to see this thing to understand what it does. It's a whole platform, like with a dashboard. It looks kind of like a toolbox, and you just need to see what's in each of the toolboxes, from press releases to all kinds of stuff. And it's all great stuff you can plug into AI as well. So the business plan is especially powerful because you really need to be able to pitch your business. If you're looking for capital or know somebody who is, and especially if you guys are consulting, you can use this platform with clients. Anyway, businesspowertools.com.
Scott, you muted?
I ended on the beep.
He's not used to that.
Did he get bounced off?
I think he got bounced off. Yeah.
I think he
Oh,
must have gotten.
All right, Bob, take over.
On you, Bob. Go for it.
Okay,
You
so
built the system.
Santa Papa John, I don't think you've gone, right?
Yeah, he has.
I went, yep.
And then Hele
She
Tembuzi,
went.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
you went?
Oh, let's do it the other way. Say who hasn't yet presented.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. Well, Burke is back
Scott's back, you mean?
and Scott's back.
You're muted, Scott.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I wasn't here.
And then you clicked your heel 3 times, right? There's
You're
no
not-
person
you're
phone.
you're not supposed to hit the self-destruct button.
Okay. All right. Well, that was cool.
Anybody that hasn't gone yet?
No, we've all gone.
Oh, gone.
Well,
Okay.
I got a quick question for anyone. I've got another a fellow business broker of mine is asked me, he says he's got like 75 to 100 prospects that need to be called repeatedly to set up appointments. He's in the segment of business he's in. Does anyone have a recommendation or suggestion for a virtual assistant or somebody that does that type of service as a support service? Just throwing that out there. If you do,
I know a company
please,
who provides virtual assistants.
Yeah.
I
I know
really
someone
appreciate
else.
maybe you could share that.
Yeah,
Sure.
and Phil, I know somebody who does it as her business for many years, and so I'll introduce you to her if you like.
That's great. My email, phone, or either please call or shoot me an email with that. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, so if I could keep the conversations going, thank you all for sticking around. I didn't I don't know where I went, but I'm back. If you have had an interaction with a group member that you'd like to share within the past week, I'm going to give you that opportunity. If you want to just raise your hand and speak up, that's fine too. Again, I'll reiterate, I had a great meeting with Al Faber. If you haven't spoken with him, you really owe it to yourself. He's a kind, gentle soul, but he's also really sharp, and he seems relaxed. So those to me are really admirable traits, to be sharp and relaxed. Something I need a lot of work on. So
I noticed the same thing. I had a meeting with him this week as well, and it was a great meeting. We have a lot in common, like you mentioned earlier, and he's just a super soul. So I love him, and I hope we can do some stuff together shortly.
Well, thank you both for the kind words. It was nice meeting you both too.
Yeah.
I had a great meeting with Jay Weddle. We share we're both come out of the commodity space and world there, and I think a takeaway from our meeting is that these disruptions, the tariffs and the higher interest rates and the immigration policy, all of these things are going to have an impact on costs and on business operations. But it's rolling out slowly. A lot of confusion in the first quarter, first 4 months. Some of that impact is being felt now as we go forward. It's definitely going to impact valuation. As a business broker, it's definitely going to have some kind of an impact on business valuations, and that's going to be a very subjective, business by business. But in agricultural area, I think Jay would agree with me. It's having a very significant impact because exports are such a huge component for the agricultural trade in California. Labor, cost of goods, certainly on construction, with steel and aluminum tariffs and so forth. All of that is going to have an impact on valuations, and therefore business owners and sellers are going to need help and assistance on guidance, how to navigate through the future changes that are coming financially from an HR standpoint. I'm just throwing that out. I mean, that may probably resonates with Jay here because he's having to deal with it firsthand.
I
Well,
think
and I'll
CPS
even throw in chemicals or oil-based. And the country's not being, well, look what's going on in Iran, just for example. I mean, there are a lot of issues to be solved out there, and it's going to affect every fact of life, cost of food. Um, yeah, we're in inflation whether they want to say they are or not. And it's
But
just
by the way,
fact.
Phil, let me make a suggestion to all of you. Start looking at the cost of implementing E-Verify in case it becomes a requirement, which it probably will, because that's gonna be in business expense in the future. It's gonna become a reality. It's only a matter of when, not if. They're not talking about it now because they're trying to pass the big, beautiful bill, but I can almost guarantee that's going to come into play because it's been talked about for so long as a way of keeping the situation static towards eventually a path towards citizenship. And so that should be part of at least know the cost for those who are looking to either sell the business to actually implement it or someone who's going to buy the business so they can include that in their calculations.
There's going to be a lot of instability in the price of things, so that's going to have an impact on. It's going to make it harder to do valuations that stick. But I guess when you got it such a dynamic market, then there's the opportunity to do faster transactions. So it's like a self-leveling scenario.
Right.
I'm curious, Wendy, if UK is one of our strongest allies, but this current administration hasn't exactly helped our relationship. So I'm curious, if you have any comments about how you see the role of the United States changing in both the UK and in the European market right now, and if what you're looking at toward the future, if I could ask you that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think, well, since we've technically left the EU, I think they've been trying to just get good sort of like trade going on, at least for the UK businesses to export, be whatever that happens to be. And it's basically, I think it's sort of like as long as it's mutually beneficial for everybody, then that's always a good start on that one and from my own side of it. But it's hard. It's basically it's I feel as long as everybody as if it's gonna I think mostly for the UK they'll be mostly looking at where it's just beneficial for our own ones and also for getting in obviously sort of like I suppose, for anything coming in for what the UK manufacturers need to build whatever they are actually building at the end of the day. So it is a bit of give and take on that side of it. And it's just, I mean, as long as the UK is hopefully getting something that's going to be beneficial for the businesses at this end, which obviously would be the same in America for businesses there. It's at the end of the day, it's going to be, it's got to be beneficial both ways. If you want to have good trade, and bring business, sort of have people start businesses or, sort of go, it's sort of, if you want to thrive, then you're going to have something as benefit, so if it's going to work for.
So would you say that in the UK that there's more of a movement toward entrepreneurial businesses as opposed to relying on like government interaction and also the EU? So because it
I
seems
know
like
there's
there are more entrepreneurs coming out of both UK and Ireland that are reaching on both sides to Europe and the US. So interesting.
Yes, people definitely, starting up their own businesses. I think a lot of that probably happened in, I suppose, COVID in a way. People either forgot to put on furlough, which was the thing where they just didn't come to work, but they were still paid, even if it's just a reduced amount. So I think people probably might have started or liked the thought of being at home. And yeah, people have looking to start their own businesses. On that side, it mostly some of the ones I've seen are pretty much like making your own, cakes sort of thing. To people who sort of someone like Steve Bartlett, who's doing incredibly well. He's done his own thing. He's been on a program called Dragon's Den. So it's something alternative named in America, but I'm not entirely sure what it's called in over your
Shark
end.
Tank,
That's
probably.
it. So
Dragon's Den, Shark Tank.
yeah, so I mean, it's a few things have come out of that from what I follow on his
Okay.
LinkedIn, and but yes, people seem to be trying to start up their own things where they see a gap in the market for it. And I mean, you do get like smaller businesses trying to get into the actual physical bricks and mortar side, but that's can be very difficult. Local level, depending on your footfall on that side, and yeah, it's I think so for most people it's easier to have not something that's an overhead for your for that, and I see a lot in the cards. I suppose actually seeing a few sort of people trying to obviously in the playing cards type space, that seems to be such a big business, and people start trying to set up to buy and sell cards, and but yeah, I think it's people just want to probably be their own boss in a way, and yeah, sort of just yeah.
There's a lot of us here doing that.
That and the
All right,
fact
well, thank you.
that Ireland has a 15% tax rate for businesses. So that's also an incentive for people to operate in Ireland or have a presence in Ireland and then come back here for business because the rate's lower. So even if with the tariffs the way they are, Ireland may be immune from a lot of that and as a because of their low income tax rate for businesses.
It's great stuff. Well, it's past the hour, so everybody, you're free, you're excused. You go get some breakfast, what have you. I'm going to stick around with Bob for a couple more minutes. If anybody has any juicy AI tidbits they want to share, we always love to hear that stuff. Roy or Phil, you'd be really taking off. Okay, thank you.
Bobby, my computer froze, so I didn't get all the chat. Are they going to be sending that later on today?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, David. Great to have you here. Look forward to meeting with you.
Hey, Moshe, it's Burke. Check your email. I sent you some information.
Now the meeting's over. I look forward to spending time on your stuff. Anyway, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Scott and Stephen, I'll definitely be reaching out.
All right.
Pleasure. It was a pleasure being
You
here.
guys.
Take care. Bye.